Welcome to the Grand Design Series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 1st of February 1990, which is a little bit earlier than I would normally start. As usual, we've got a little bit of a crisis that we need to fix before we can go on and talk about the main subject of this video, which is self-sufficiency. Now, this crisis is actually, if I show you, as you can see that our waste is piling up here quite substantially. And that's down to the fact that what we've managed to do, or somehow the game has managed to do, is contaminate all these with fertilizer. Now, one of the sensitivities of a distribution office like this will not deliver, because this is set up to deliver mixed waste to these. In fact, what I'm going to do is we're going to go through here first and set these all to 100%. Just simply so that I can get a little bit of extra capacity. Now, because this distribution office is set to only mix waste, and although of course technically the fertilizer is a mixed waste, but from the point of view of a distribution office it's not. So the first thing we've got to do is go through here and clear all this out, because I definitely got to do this, because this actually represents a real threat to my thing. What that should do is at least start to empty out some of this. Now, what I've got to do now is somehow convert all these back to mixed waste. Now, I have got a dumper here. Let me just get you. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Where I think I've got a depot over here. Yes, I have. Good. All right, just gonna let the game run. Now, while that dumper is being moved into position, I just want to talk about the theme of this video, which is actually self-sufficiency, because self-sufficiency is the core of this game. Now, technically, the ideal is to build a completely self-sufficient economy. Now, for anyone who's not totally sure what I mean by self-sufficient economy, we come into here. If I go back to last month, what you can see here is that there are this is what is still being imported, and you can see our major import is electronics, which we've been working towards, and electro components. We've got a small amount of mechanical components still being imported, and then of course we've got oil, iron, alcohol, meat, and concrete. As your economy gets bigger and bigger and the map gets bigger and bigger, you're going to have to make some compromises. And the way I look at self-sufficiency is with respect to the big ticket items, which is electronics, electro components, and mechanical components. Now, when your map gets to a certain size, what happens is that there's not enough resources on the map to be completely self-sufficient in certain types. For example, on this map, I've already grabbed most of the oil fields. There's only really one left now, which is out on this delta. And at the moment, that's still not enough to drive the 2 oil refineries I've got. So we're never going to be self-sufficient in oil. And it's the same with the iron at the moment. I'm having to import some iron to keep one of our steel factories going. So the focus is really on alcohol, meat, electronics, electro components. Now, what you see here is there's a small amount of concrete being imported, and the reason for that is, and this is a compromise that you've got to make if you are near a customs shed, that say this area here, this has to do building maintenance. Now, there are occasionally some buildings that will need concrete as part of their building maintenance, and to be completely honest, if you're actually on close to a customs shed like this, it's easier actually for your maintenance guys, which I would guess is these. Yeah, you can see here, these are actually importing the concrete from this position here. Yeah, you can see it says concrete. Okay, I think what we're going to do is change him back to there as well, put him on the custom shed. It's from the point of view of the building maintenance, it's just as easy. In fact, what we could probably do as well, we'll just check these guys as well and see. And this is where, yeah, you can see this one's on concrete, the custom shed as well. And this is where a pure form of self-sufficiency isn't really worth the effort, because otherwise you're going to have trucks running very, very long distances to be able to get just a very little bonus, because at the end of the day, concrete is cheap. It also applies to something like asphalt. Those are the two that you can't actually manufacture. Okay, we now got matey here. So back to fixing our problem. What I've got to do is come in here. We've got to make sure that he picks up the fertilizer. 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 Isn't this fun? This game is incredibly good at dishing out curveballs. Okay, fertilizer. Fertilizer. Load fertilizer. And of course, the only thing we can do is unload into there. Now, what I'm going to have to do is follow this along. This guy along, just to make sure it works, because it's not good enough just to empty them. What we got to do is flip the type back. Whoops. So we're just going to come here. And I'm just going to talk a little bit more about self-sufficiency. The alcohol we could probably deal with. We imported a little bit of fuel. I'm not exactly sure where that came from. And of course, this is another problem when it comes to getting self-sufficiency. You will find little oddities like this: 25 tons of fuel, things which are bought, 3 tons of alcohol, and actually trying to track down what that's going here. And you can see the oil train has just gone in. Anyway, we're just going to keep following this guy. And right, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut the video here, and I'll see you once we get to the first of the dumps. So here we are, we're just coming up on the first of these dumps. You can see at the moment I can't change this until this has been emptied of fertilizer. And then what I can do is, as soon as he's emptied it, I can flip it back to mixed waste. So this is basically what you can do. You can see here it's literally picked up 0.001 tons of fertilizer. So it shows that the slightest bit of contamination in here can completely wreck your entire process. So literally, for some reason, we've managed to get a tiny amount of fertilizer in here. It's probably a little bit of biological waste that got into here, probably from the refining process that was part of the ash. And then what happened was that had the ability to flip it over to fertilizer, and then that caused a problem. So just going to come here. I say it doesn't take much in there for this game to kind of ruin your day. That's probably the polite way of saying it. No, so we're now getting this done. I mean, I did consider another possible option, which was to run the ash from my thing over there down to the other processing dump. Right, so you've now got that one done. Apologies that this is a bit of a grind, but it's got to be done. Right, what I'm going to do now is just going to follow him, because I'm going to use him to assist these guys. So I'm just going to follow him. Right, again, I'm just going to cut the video while he goes and empties the fertilizer back into the overall recycling process. Okay, he wouldn't dump this. So what I'm going to do is discard all the cargo. Should have done it anyway. And then what I'm going to do is change this guy's route a bit. I'm going to remove this one. What I'm going to do is reduce you and say unload mixed waste. I'm gonna then remove this one, this one, this one. Right. And then what we're going to do is set you to here. You're going to load mixed waste. And going to remove you. Where are you? Which one's this one? This one's too far out. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to run a very short route. Okay. Actually, you're to there, so what I'm going to do is put you on there. You're going to unload mixed waste. Okay, I'm just going to remove you. I'm going to set you to wait until loaded. Again, I just want to make sure. And we're just going to use him to keep emptying out this, because this is going to take a little while to get ahead of the game, actually. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on this. Actually, is there any benefit in activating this? Okay, we've now started to clear this, so, and we're now clearing this. So, okay, I think we're going to get this under control. Frame waiting too long. Right, I'm just going to get up here. Where are you? I think these guys are okay. Right, we're finally just going to clear all these messages. We're finally back to where I wanted to get to, because we are now getting very close to getting our kind of production up here running, and this is all part of becoming independent. What we are going to do is start letting some workforce into here. In fact, we're probably going to let the full 60 into here, because what I want to do is start bringing in the workforce from up here. Down in this area, we should have a functioning store. We got here biological burning waste. Okay. There's nothing here that needs separating. And what I want to do now is, oh, it's got dark, so it's going to tell me where the empty buildings are. I want to let some more in here, workers into here. Yeah, I know unemployment is too high. Now, what I want to do is find the tram route up here. There it is. Okay, move you over there. What I've done whilst I was actually playing is I brought up some, what we call it here, we got some more trams in this area, and what we're going to do is 1, 2, 3. Get some more trams running out of here. So what I want to do is get more workforce up into this area, and we are now producing plastic. You need plastic, you've got steel, so we can start letting in some workforce into here. Now I'm only going to let in about 40 at the moment, because what I want to do is ramp up the industry going very, very slowly, because otherwise we won't have a bit of a problem. We need electroplastics, and we got mech components. I think I'm getting some mech components into here. So all we got to do now is get the plastic from here to here, which means we need forklift trucks. Oh, by the way, just to mention on the way through is what I've done is at the moment I've imported a whole load of chemicals into here to drive this new industry. So we're going to come here. Let's let the game run. Okay, forklift trucks. Let me just see what we got in the way of forklift trucks. Let me just see, what is the in-game one? This is 0.53 tons of chemicals, and it moves 0.44 tons of plastic. This one's a little bit over the top. This one's a little bit better than the in-game one, I think. Is that the in-game one? This is the LA 4045. This is the LA 450. I think what we'll do is we'll buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. And then we're going to tell you to pick up here. And run you all the way to here. Oops. And we get you to deliver them there. Now the next thing I want to check is here, because at the moment, well, I've got this set up to import mechanical components, and it's importing the mechanical components to here for the moment because the track isn't finished up here at the moment. This is still being built, and because we need to get stuff into here, but at the moment it's more about getting, I don't want to set this connection up just yet because it might move the wrong things. So at the moment we're kind of getting a bit of a surplus of plastic. Now my main concern around here is how we, and this is another reason why I'm trying to bring this up in steps. Okay, we've got 2 electronic batteries. Kind of shut you down for the moment. Reduce your workforce a little bit. I thought I'd done all these. Ha. Okay, okay, we're gonna actually push you back to 150, and you've got 150. We'll probably run you at that. Something flashed up there. That's a traffic jam. I can live with a traffic jam. Okay, I should have done this prep before. Did we just, as I say, I want to scale this up slowly over time. I don't want it, because we can't really go full production until that's 0. That's 0. I think what I might do is bring a just not full capacity, because something tells me that we're going to need that little bit of extra oomph there. See, because this produces 2.8 tons of electro components. This only needs 1.9, so we can get that done. Now, while the forklift truck guys are kind of working their magic, just see. Wow, okay, what's going on here? That looks like that there's no footpath connections. Yeah, bit of a mistake there. Yeah, they were all trapped inside of their city block, so we've got a little bit of a hit here, but that's okay. We'll just let all that settle down a bit before we do anything else. And that means I can now move on to, well, we'll do a quick check of the waste management on the way through. Yeah, we are slowly gaining, but of course we are now done that. That actually is something else. It's reminded me of something else. So now this is a little bit of a burning question, in the sense that we've got these dumps here. We've got plastic waste, we've got metal scrap. What I want to do is just try something, because this is something that's been bubbling along for a little while, and I really want to test this to see if it's actually going to work. So I'm not going to pick up the mixed waste. I'm going to pick up the plastic and metallic waste, because we are going to get that. We've got metal scrap and we've got plastic waste. What I'm going to do is come down to here. Let's pause the game for a moment, because I want to see what the consequences are. The metallic waste comes into here, doesn't it? And I can bring the plastic waste to here. Kind of just make sure this is set up for plastic waste. Yeah, got to set it to about 60%, 70%. Right, we're going to go back here, and what I want to do is see if we're going to trigger a response from here. Yep. So it's actually picked up the plastic waste. So again, apologies that we're going to be following the train. Ah, that's bad news. Yeah, it's not worked. See, he's got 6.5 tons, and he's just taken 4 wagons loads away. Right, I'm just going to increase that to 50%. I think this is the problem, that we've got 4 wagon trains there, or 4 load there, just to move 6.5 tons of waste. Right, I think I need to get this settled down a bit before we actually put this onto mixed waste. You see here, it's going to gravel 6.5 tons. That barely fills up one of these wagons. One of these wagons holds about kind of about 50 tons, so it's picked up 3.5 tons of metallic waste. Okay, so that could be a problem. Anyway, we'll just have to live with that at the moment. I don't think it's going to be a major problem. It's just going to be an irritation. Right, the next thing I want to work on is that we really need to start. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Where's my demolition? I've got a demolition team here somewhere. That's exactly what I was trying to guard against. I think we've got a demolition team in this area somewhere. Where is it? Not mods. And they've got to move 65 tons of mixed waste. Let me just check where you are taking your mixed waste to. Okay, you're bringing it. This is going to take forever. Where's that demolition team? I'm going to move you and set you to there. So you can work backwards and forwards to there. Yeah, this is what I was trying to avoid, and the plan was, we've got a there. I was going to put up some power into this area. We got no power grid here. I thought I had a power grid. Okay, this is even worse than I thought it was going to be. Right, the first thing we're going to need is we can probably put that connector's there to there. We're gonna have to put the put you there. Stilton, high priority. Right, now all this is going to do is power into this area here. So all we're going to need to do is put like an 8, is it 6 or an 8 mega? I think we'll put an 8 megawatt power supply in. Which means we've got to okay, we're gonna have to run around the back. Actually, no, cancel. That's horrible. Try and make it look a bit tidier. Actually, I had a comment, I think it was from Vimes, and a special shout out to Vimes. He was saying about the comment I made in the last video about putting tidy pipelines in. And I'll be completely upfront. I always start off with good intentions when it comes to power lines and pipelines and things like that. And I always kind of go off the rails eventually. I just can't seem to be able to not do it. I think we can keep this tight. What I want to do is get all the power into there, but I want to power everything in this area. If I can put the substation, I need to get that. Okay, we're just going to put you there. And we are going to need one of these. I do need to send power that way. So I think we'll run you to there. So I'm pretty sure these don't have power as well. You do have power from this one. So we actually, if I put the power and substation about there, that will, because we need power over there as well. Okay, right. We might as well just put a single. I forgot I needed power over there. I might better get power from that direction, from somewhere else. Get you to there. There. I think Stilton can build this. This is low priority. Got some power connections there, but this is a little bit all out on its own, isn't it? But we will definitely need power here. We need power to here. Let me just come down to here. We've got a substation here. Let's have a look. This is all being taken up. Okay. This has got a little bit more complicated than I thought it would. I think what we're going to do is I want power options here, so I'm going to put a transformer there, and then what was it? We put 7 into there. So if I And we'll go. Okay. Get that built at the moment. And then what we can do is run power lines off of here to supply this area here. I mean, at the moment, all I want is power into this corner so that we can get a workforce in here. In fact, let me just check. Where do we have any bus stops sitting around here? Do we have any unemployment? A tiny amount of unemployment. Can you? Yeah, we got a lot of workers queuing up here. So we can use a bus pickup here to take people out to here. I mean, this area at the moment is good. Right, this needs a road connection. I did include this heating plant in this sub-power connection, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, that's going to be a pain. Okay, this is a waste of time. Suspend. Demolish. That can. I forgot about the heating plant over here, so that was a waste of time. That were. Just demolish that. That was a mistake. Yeah, I forgot about the heating plants. Okay, let me just do this one again. Yeah, we're also going to need to run. We're going to have to provide power to those as well. It's a big mistake. Okay, we're just going to put you there. And this one again. Put you to there. We do have a substation over here somewhere. So we will need to put a substation. We need to cover all these thingies here. So we're going to need to put a substation there. Luckily we've got power transformer here. You can go into there. I think we will. That's missing. That could be a problem if this is overlooked. So we'll get that in there. Who's distributing the fuel to this area? That's the construction office. Where is the... Right, I'm going to put the fuel supply into here. Now what's going to happen is that there will be no fuel delivered here until there's a power supply, but once we got power out to here with this, is that the one that's... Just check. Right, what I want is this all built through. It's on high priority. High priority. Yep. I want to get the power out to here so that we can get fire coverage. We'll have to bring out the workforce to here using buses. Okay. Right. So the next thing I want to do, we're on the 26th of March. I just want to check my warehouses here. We got plenty. What was that? Citizens' health too low. What are you doing? Oh, we got them. It's probably an escaped criminal here, or someone just released from prison. Well, we've got no store or anything out here, so there's no point in well, they're just gonna have to live with the consequences. Anyway, we're just gonna go back over and check this area here. How are we doing? Are we getting ahead? Yeah, we've cleared the waste. Right, what I'm going to do is let this guy. Train waiting too long. I think you're on the way back to wherever you've got to go. So yeah, I think the problem we've got now is that this guy's trying to get up to here. I think we've got to sort this out now. Now, these guys can use this as a crossover. So what we can do now, the problem is, oh no, they can't do that because they've got to get up into here. Are you the... Right, this is the guy delivering. Right. Forgot about these. Can I get you into there? Will you go down? He just disappeared instantaneously. Right, there's a couple of other trains running around here. Yeah, these guys were delivering. These are my... Okay. You. I need you back into the depot. Let me just see. You can go to there. Hear that? Oops. Now I want the other one as well. Yeah, what happened here is I was using 3 trains to deliver the wagons out here because they had to come all the way across the map. Where are you? Okay, you're coming this way. You've got nothing, right? The easiest thing to do with this guy is we've got 4 trains in there, 5 trains in there. You can go there. Let me just see. Okay. Why is this full of mech components? Right, I need to set you up to deliver mech components to here. Set reduce you to 50%. We've got steel here, which I'm consuming. You needs to be Right, this is where I want to set up the logistics line for the long-term supply of steel. So, because I don't want to interfere with this one over here. So you're going to pick up steel from here. You're going to deliver the steel here at 50% as well. And do I want to bring steel into here? Yes, I want to deliver steel into here as well. What's the... It's going to knock you back a little bit and set you to 40%. And what you should do is eventually is deliver the steel to here. And once this route is finished, we'll deliver steel up to here. But we're not ready quite yet for this. We need to limit this amount. Right, have I got my fork trucks in here? Good. For the moment, you are going to pick up plastics from here and deliver plastics to this side here. How much? We've got 38 tons of plastic. I think at the moment we'll just set you... How much plastic is in here? Okay, we've got a fair amount of plastic in here. So we'll set you to 40 tons percent. Because these guys, whoever the workforce is, no electrode components, no plastic. Okay. So you need to pick up electrode components and send them over to here as well. And then what that will do is start bring over this. That will allow us to start producing electronics. So this is our next step in our path towards self-sufficiency. And then you will, of course, part of the problem is that this won't push the electronics into here until this is full up, which is should have built a more complex web of stuff here. I think what we'll also do is, this is warehouse 2, load the electronics there. Which one are we going to use for export? I think this one's closer to the road, so okay. How much capacity have we got for electronics? Well, leave it at 20 tons for the moment. So basically, you will pick up any electronics that comes into this area, and then you will move them. We still, let me just check. War related vehicles. Okay, where are you? Okay, you're still bringing the last 2 fork trucks up. We're going to need to get a reasonable amount of production going here. I think we're going to spin that up a little bit more. We are starting to get the electronics flowing this way. Oh, you annoying tykes. Now, eventually I might want... Okay. This is what happens when the game... You will load plastics and electric components from there. You've got to empty this out, please, game. What I will do is just to make... Actually, Now this is going to be a little bit of a dilemma because I could pick up the electro components, but would I export them or whatever I use these locally? I think at the moment we'll just leave the setup the way it is so that we can get things going. At the moment this is producing more than enough for okay. Just going to ramp you up to 150. You're running at 60%. How much unemployment have we got over here? Let me just see. Lifestyle unemployment. Okay, we got lots and lots of people picking up from there. Right, how much? Okay, we're going to need, how's the fuel situation here? We need to get this online for our chemicals. How much fuel are we producing at the moment? Got lots and lots of fuel. And okay, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to push some, wait for a tram to come up to here. Okay, that's the one I want. How many trams have we got on this route? 3. Okay. What we're going to do is we got a couple of trams left here. And just leave one in reserve. You've got no drinking water. You've got no drinking water. Okay, so we got a water shortage here. Looks like I put in the sewage pickup, but I didn't actually put in the water supply. Right, how far out is the... No, we got a little bit of water supply here. I think what we're going to do is push this out to... Okay, this is cannot build due to infrastructure. Let me just I think we'll put you on this corner. How is the actual water supply here? We've got a tower here. It's going to be a long way out that way though. Okay, let me just see. You can supply from there. What is the water pressure like here? I don't think it's a little bit marginal. Where is the water output? Oh, well, we've got a pump here. Okay. Aha. Actually, that's running at 37 to this one here. I think what we could probably, I mean, this is 127, so we could probably run you to there. There's my scruffy pipelines again. Right, 5. Build that. But what we are going to need this can do 132. And let me just check this water supply, water well. You can produce 240, but you're not at the moment because you're overloaded. I think for the moment we'll put that in so that you can get a bit more water, but what we might... No. Yeah, I think if we do that and then put another connection to there again, and to build that, that should ease the pressure a little bit. Now I'm aware that I'm running out of time, so we're just going to do another quick check on here. Yeah, we got everything under control here. Capacity is working quite well, and that little truck there, you go to there. Right, what we'll do is I'll sort him out off camera because we don't need him anymore. And what I want to do is just to finish off, I don't know why I'm coming down here because I'm just going to check the whole map, but we're going to wear and tear entire map. Okay, we got a cargo train station that's got, yeah, well, yeah, you actually collapsed, mate. So you're beyond help. Rest is good. Now the next thing, entire map. Okay, we got something that's 85. Okay, we got a train that's wearing out. Oh, a truck that's wearing out here. Okay. Has got the potential issue. This is the one that's coming up here. And of course, because it's a free truck and it's probably out of range of there, and it's got 85 ton wear and tear at 85. It's going to be tricky. I think probably the easiest way to... this is an MZ504. We need an open hole. I don't know if I've got an open hole. This is where things can get a little bit tricky. What have I got these guys here for? I must have brought them in to do something and I can't remember what I was going to use them for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in speed. I think my standard replacement now for open holes is the KMZ. No, we're using the, what's the T815 here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring one of those out. Whoops. I'll bring open hole. I'll bring a couple out here to replace that. I have to do something about this. Because these are going to suffer wear and tear. And we don't really have the ability to repair out here. Because I think the... yeah, I think what I'm going to do is there any way I can get a road? If I could get a road depot in here somewhere. Road vehicle depot. Can I get you? Oh yeah, we'll just drop you in there. We don't need any fancy road. I'll put you there. Stilton, you can build that. What I want to do is create a kind of depot here so that when the game does, and then we can put some covered holes and open holes in. This is going to be part of my strategy for auto replacement once we're manufacturing vehicles. And what we can do then is use this to replace vehicles up here, because we know what types of vehicles we need here, which is just a couple of open holes, some waste trucks as well, which will have a bit of a problem. So we can kind of fix things like that. Just want the entire map. That's good. About helicopters. Okay, I think generally we are okay. So this is where, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.